And then Bontempelli was like, nah, 180, blammo, whatever happens, Matt. All the fans kind of know what's happened, didn't they?
Mate, the Bont.
Bontempelli today. Oh.
Bont is on. Of course. Everyone should own Bont. If you don't own Bont, what the hell are you doing with yourselves? Is all I have to ask. If you don't own Bontempelli at his best, mate, you deserve him at his worst. How we doing all on a fine Monday night? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. I managed to sneak in right before 7:30 my team review. I was hoping to get it a little bit earlier than that, but hey, it is what it is.
As you say, it is what it is, Joe. And yeah, it's one of those funny ones, right? I've got to do my team review after this, mate. Work got me so tired from today. Came home and just snoozed. I was like, sorry, fellas. It'll be out tomorrow. One of the funny things, though, is that it really did feel like it took so long for Supercoach to open yesterday. I don't know if that was the same for you, but the last game finished at like 7, and I think it opened at 9:30, 10 o'clock. So it made us wait for nothing, I suppose, because it wasn't even like people got, what am I saying? Wasn't even like we got extra DPPs or what. There was a main reason for it to open. It just it just took so long.
Look, I wasn't sitting and waiting around for lockout to open.
Oh, I made the mistake of not doing the trades that I wanted to do, and everyone in the chat is going to be pissed off at me because I said, "Hey, I'm going to do these trades." I didn't do them. Didn't get Dylan Moore's 160 plus. And then it is what it is.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, I wasn't sitting waiting around for lockout. I went to go watch a movie last night. I just finished watching our boys play and was just like, what did I just watch? And then I went to go watch a movie and I thought, stuff this. I'm going to step away from footy for a little bit and go and watch a movie, and it was a pretty good time.
What did you watch?
I watched Haikyuu. I'm a big anime fan, and I watched Haikyuu.
Okay.
I love me some volleyball, and Haikyuu's. I've read the manga, I've read it all to completion, and I couldn't wait to watch the movie. It's been a long time coming, and it was pretty nice. It was very nice. Hit me in the feels, as this show tends to do. But we're here talking footy in Supercoach. G'day, Harry. 2038.
If only there was a AFL version of Haikyuu.
I know.
It'd be a North Melbourne story, I tell you what. It'd be like the shit team, finally kind of stepping up, and then, maybe they don't win every week, but at least they try. Oh, well, that wouldn't be North Melbourne because we don't try. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one.
Man, 2038 is a bloody very good score this week in what was a tough week for many people. I know for me, this week was a fairly tight one as well. I wasn't entirely sure I managed to crack 2,000, scored 2,007, which is not too bad considering I did a triple downgrade coming into this week and was holding,
you did all right.
Over $300,000. So to have that much money in the bank and still crack 2K, I'm very happy with that result. On you, Harry. Good stuff.
I would have cracked 2,200 if I did the trades I was going to do. If I had done Dylan Moore, I would have cracked 2,200.
God damn.
So pissed. Yeah.
1961 with only 18 playing. Pretty happy. That's really impressive. Well done, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Shame to hear about your boy there in the photo. 2 weeks holiday.
Miss out on North Melbourne.
Yeah.
Rodney. We're playing you guys this week, so no Harley Reid to beat up on North Melbourne. I mean, we talk about easy matchups and whatnot, and everyone versus North Melbourne is an easy matchup at the moment. Just a bit of a shame you miss out.
Rodney had Tuke as captain, was on 57 points at the 2022 mark, looked like outside best 18, then he scored 51, and what was a ridiculous, that was not holding the ball, and that was not a 50-meter penalty. Unbelievable, but congratulations. Good for him. That was
worked out all right for us owners, Joe. I'll tell you what. I was very cranky. If you saw me in George's Discord, oh mate, I was cranky. Tuke Miller, fake primo, blah blah blah, going off. You know, like to think that I had a bit of a bit of a reason as to why Tuke Miller went big. You know, my kind of feelings on that kind of thing. So yeah, it's nice when it works out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, at Essendon's expense, but it is what it is.
Well, you can't be amazing every single minute of the game. You know, let the boys play, Joe.
No, I want us to go undefeated. God damn it! Good evening, Velo. Hope you're doing well. All I can say is I'm shitting myself for Sunday. We are going to lose for sure. Especially if Langford doesn't get up as well. If there's no Langford, oh my god!
And Zach Reed's out too, which is a bit of a suck because but he was a fair chance. They're saying in everything that I've seen, it was a fair chance to actually play this week. So kind of sucks that he's not going to be in. One of the big things as well, Joe, I did not realize until today, but there is a Thursday to a Monday game again. So we're going to hopefully round 14. Let me have a quick squeeze on round 14. Okay, round 14 is a Friday. So we at least get like 2 days off in between. We don't have to pump out all this content with one day in between. So it's not too bad.
No, we managed to escape. Shawnee, g'day, Shawnee. How you doing? Well, Freddie's in here. G'day, Freddie. Jackson, hello, Jackson. Unbranded with his look. This you say you're unbranded, but this is very on brand for you to just come in and say hello and then say nothing else. But I thank you for coming on anyway, as always. Craze Fit, g'day, mate. Hope you're doing well.
I think today, Joe, has got to be the story of so many players getting monster contracts. I don't know if you've seen the news, but
Sam
Taylor's now got a monster contract. And McCluggage has now got a monster contract as well. Like, mate, if you were a club like a North Melbourne, I think you guys did really well in picking up your free agents last year because there's no one good going to be available now. Everyone's getting like 140, 150, monster contracts. So, yeah, unlucky for us teams that are trying to get better.
Mate, Bont's not going to go 78 this week. Why would Bont go 78 this week against the Lions? Come on, man. He's playing at Marvel. No chance. Oh, legend. I don't even know what to say about that game. You lost by 100 points. Just say what it is. You basically lost by 100. That is unbelievable. And not only that, Luke Ryan scored 120 plus. Like I said this in my team review. How does a defender whose team won by 100 points finish on 120 plus? It makes no sense.
I don't know. But then you think about it, it's Luke Ryan. Like, he'd play forward just to get the points.
It's Luke Ryan. Of course. That's all we need. Frankie says, hi, guys.
Rio did very well.
Yeah, I know. You're talking to me? I got 9 trades left for 3 upgrades. You're talking to me, Frankie? I wish I had more trades. Had the pleasure of watching live the worst game of the year, possibly the decade, on Saturday. Was it really the worst game? Come on.
Nah.
Come on, man. Hello, gents. My question to Joe this week. All right, no worries. Is Ridley taking some of Martin's MS role? MS? Multiple sclerosis? No, that can't be right.
He's not taking Martin's multiple sclerosis. Boy, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, what's the MS supposed to be? Taking some of Martin's role. Big J, to fish or not to fish? That is my dilemma. Thanks, gents, for all your help.
Well, I don't know if you want to start on the fish, but I'll start on the fish if you want. I think fish is all right. I brought him in 2 weeks ago, and he scored me like a 110 on debut. He was a lot cheaper than what he is now, but it really comes down to, hey, if you feel like he's going to be a keeper or not. That's ultimately what it comes down to. So have that idea in your head, I guess, as to what you're going to do, and then really play it from there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now, in relation to Jordan Ridley, if he's eating into let me share the screen.
From a Fish's roll, Joe.
Nah, stuff the fish. Fish is a fraud.
I mean, not Fish's roll, but Martin's roll.
Nick Martin, yeah. So Nick Martin didn't take any kick-ins on the weekend, but he did take 2 the week before, which is still when Ridley was playing as well. So it's not necessarily that Ridley has taken his role. Ridley's role in the team is to be the third tall coming in and intercepting. That's what he's meant to do. That was never what Nick Martin was expected to do. Nick Martin, what we want from him is to continue to run up and down the ground and be a distributor. So this was last week's game with Ridley in the team. And then this was, again, the game against the Gold Coast Suns. You can still see he's getting a lot of the pill here of half back and then trying to move his way. And here he hit the post. Like, that was just endemic of our freaking night. Him hitting the post from here, walking into goal. That was just pathetic. So, but honestly, his disposal efficiency has just been horrific. 67%.
Yeah. He's got a bit of the Sam Walsh's about him, really. Nick Martin, I don't know if it was hot potato for this game, Joe, or something else had happened, but yeah, missing shots he shouldn't have missed. And then I hate when players put in all the effort. That's probably the big thing for me is, obviously I'm not the coach and they probably hate the same thing as well, but the player runs around. He does his job. He puts in all the goddamn effort.
Yeah.
And then just like turns it over. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Correct.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch.
Yeah. So Ridley hasn't killed him. It's just been his disposal. And it was, I mean, we played up in the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast, it's renowned for the humidity and the slippery conditions, and that's why the Suns are so hard to beat there, because that's where they train all the time. They're used to it, and so that's something that we're not used to, especially coming from cold. From the cold, it's literally winter for us now down here. And then you go up there and it's really difficult. So I wouldn't be concerned. It really was just purely disposal efficiency. He's still getting all the marks that he otherwise normally was getting when Ridley was out of the team. He scored 2 behinds. If those 2 were goals, especially in the crunch time in the last quarter, mate, that 80 is a 120. So I wouldn't be pegging Jordan Ridley as the reason for Nick Martin's poor score. Definitely put it down to that crappy disposal efficiency. And
I'd probably say more of like a Nick Hind or someone like that as well. That's probably stealing a bit more of his ball than what Ridley is. Yeah.
What did I say about Raul?
Oh, I just go back to Tuke Miller. That last 10 minutes or so, that was Bond-esque. Not Bond. That was Max Gorn. It was just like, yep, cool. He's on 50. Why not? Max Gorn kicks a goal with like 2 minutes left before the game finishes. Tuke Miller, mate. Just love it.
Unbelievable.
Still reckon
rookie coach. G'day, mate. Evening to you. 2007 for me. Thinking nice. Wilson and Klahisi, Tahini, and a rookie. Considering Blight, Dawson, or McMullen, is Zorko or Heaney the better pickup this week? Okay. So Heaney is good, and Zorko is also good. They're both great because they're both top 6 forwards for sure, and they're both coming off their bye.
Yeah. I think Dawson potentially plays this week. I'm not sure. North Melbourne's backline is just like a thing of wonder. There's so many players that are going to be playing through there at the moment. We know how good Sheasel and Fisher are. They're probably not going to get kicked out of the position. But Dawson now has to complete with Cal Dawson, who I'm not sure if he played VFL because we didn't have VFL on the weekend. I don't know if he's going to get named this week, but there's potential. So, yeah, really big weight for team sheets for him. I think Blight plays, though, from his VFL stats on the weekend were very, very, very good. And they might just move Noah Bolter around and then keep Blight in the position. So, yeah, just have to be careful there.
Yeah, I mean,
your forward line looks similar to mine, Joe.
Yeah, well, hoping that it does, and then hopefully we can get Fisher back here, and then we finish off with Rankin in a few weeks.
Where's Sexton, though?
Sexton is in the back line at the moment. I haven't pressed optimize for some reason. But yeah, Sexton's in the back line with Fisher at the moment, and so hopefully Fisher here and Rankin here. So yeah, just one more upgrade for the forward line, one for the midfield, and one for the back line for me. So hopefully the last one is a McKercher next week. A little cheap one there, so that I can then afford
Joe,
and then keep him.
Joe, you didn't bring Sam Berry into your team, did you? Joe.
This week, yes, maybe, potentially, perhaps. This week, perhaps Sam Berry might be coming in. I have to hear from Adelaide. I haven't locked it in just yet. Don't do that to me. There's reasoning behind this, and that comes down to Laird, okay? If Laird isn't the one who's on the ball, because, Crouch is out. Crouch is injured. Crouch could miss the whole year. Someone has to come in to replace Crouch in the midfield. It could be him. Potentially. If it's not, then we trade him now.
I had to deal with Sam Berry nonsense for 2 months. Now I have to deal with you dealing with Sam Berry nonsense for 2 months. No, just don't. Hopefully Dawson's fit. I know me and you were looking at bringing him in like last week as a major option. Hopefully he's fit. He obviously wasn't fit before, and that's kind of partly why he didn't score that well. He was being surrounded and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully just don't do it, Joe.
You reckon Dawson's the one that just gets all the CBAs? Because Crouch was the number one mid.
That was the issue, right? When Crouch was fit, like Dawson was scoring well, and then Crouch came in and stole all these CBAs. And then now Crouch is out, Dawson's going to come back and start scoring well again. Like that's ultimately what it was like, remember?
But look, Crouch was still getting a lot of CBAs, even when Dawson was getting a lot of CBAs as well. So ultimately, the one that lost their CBAs the most, Sam El Trapo Berry. Dan, he could be, it's either a trap or a ticket. It's one or the other. And the reason why people don't get the tickets all the time is because they're worried that they're traps. So
yeah, you only get 2 weeks of cash gen, I suppose, before he gets knocked off. So
like Saligo already getting plenty of CBAs. If this is 65% now of CBAs that have now just been got, 67% on average has now been sent out into the ether, and they have to go somewhere. 67% of these he was the number one CBA attendee. They have to go somewhere. And I can understand if Berry isn't playing because he's basically the exact same type as Crouch. And you can't play both together because that's too much of the same. So if Crouch is out for the whole season, then they're going to have to replace him with another in and under type of player. And that could very well be Sam Berry. And so I'm just waiting to hear some more news from the coaching staff and see what they have to say. Are they going to say, we're going to give Sam Berry a crack? Or are they going to say, all right, Dawson has to be in the midfield more? Or are they going to say Rory Laird's going to come back? I just want to hear.
Yeah, that's fair. I just got PTSD already from having him. So yeah, I just can't. There's no way. I will never. I'm not going to say I'm never ever going to play Sam Berry ever in my life because you just don't know. Like if Adelaide's team falls off a bus and is the only player in their team, you probably have to play him in your Supercoach team. But yeah, there's no way I'm actively going to bring Sam Berry back into my side after what I had to deal with for the first 5 rounds of. I kept Sam Berry, and everyone in the chat knows this. I kept Sam Berry because the guy had a negative break even. And that was the only reason why I had kept him for 5 weeks. So yeah, cool. You can fall off the Sam Berry train. That's okay.
He's been the sub.
I know, because he's no good. That's why he's been the sub. Because he's no good.
Mate, look at last year, mate. Look at this last year.
Last year. cool. I'm sure there's some other players I could pull out my butt.
Where was Crouch last year?
Last year as well.
Yeah, but where was Crouch last year?
Not playing.
Exactly. You see? There was no Crouch last year. He did well. Now Crouch was in.
Oh, Joe.
Maybe. Guys, it's still Monday night. It's not like they're locked in. It's not like these trades are locked in. It's still Monday night. But you gotta test yourself. You gotta, stretch your imagination sometimes. I'm getting a lot of flack here in the comments, but mate,
the problem is, right? So I think the thing with you and Sam Berry is the same problem that I have had with bringing in Harrison last week. Like, there's just no advantage. You would how much is Sam Berry? Like
220.
200. Yeah. Why would you not just bring in like a 102k player and bank 100k?
Because he could be decent cover.
Cover for what?
In the midfield. He could be a cheap M9, M10. I'd pick Bernie Vince. Mate, Bernie Vince, he looks in decent nick. Don't. And Bernie Vince was a very.
I get upset at myself. I'm upset at myself for going Bytel. Sorry, for not going Bytel and for getting Harrison. But at least I know that he's going to net me currently. If I trade him out, he's going to net me like 140k in terms of like him to a 102k rookie that's playing. Yeah. I'm trying to help you avoid this. Like,
I appreciate
you don't have enough trades to finish your team. So now you're spending more money on potentially a bench cover player. I don't know.
Because I won't have enough money. Because I won't have enough trades or money.
That 100k is like an extra trade. Like, you can save yourself a trade by bringing in like El Hawaii or Mr. Saad that you've been raving about for the past like week. Just bring him in. He played on the weekend. He's probably going to play this week. Like,
he's very good.
Bring him in instead, and then you're fine.
Yes, it's too late for Fraser Jackson. I'm going to go watch Bad Boys Friday afternoon. Very nice. G'day, Cheese. How's it going? Good to see you, brother. Jackson, need 2 more premium forwards. Already have Heaney, Zorko, Jackson, Flanders. Any other suggestion? More?
McRae's not terrible if you can dodge the round 14 bye. I think you're okay there. Who do I have that you don't have? I think Fisher is one definitely that I don't think he's going to lose his role. So you're basically just banking on the fact that he gets injured if you don't have him in your team. The guy's still very cheap. And I think, more potentially is one. Do you have Rankin? No. So Rankin probably is another one in a couple of weeks. So you're kind of looking at, I really hope Sexton keeps his spot. I know he won't, but I hope he keeps his spot as well. But you're really banking on these players who have high ceilings and like decent enough averages. So your Heaney's, your Zorko, your Flanders. I think Flanders has been almost the most consistent player all year, like across the board. Even Dylan Moore is one who, cool, decent average, but you can have a big game like the one he had on the weekend. So that's the type of player that you're after. McRae's one, depending on what the Dogs do. It's not too bad.
You could also get a Mackay. Carlton's run home. If you're not getting killed in round 14, there's no rush to get them in now. But if you want someone to round out your forward
cover, I suppose.
Yeah, like if you're trying to round out your forward line, I think Carlton's run home is the easiest. So could open up some really cool things there. Scored 1968, which I'm pretty happy with considering I had 6 premiums missing. Very nice, very nice. Well done, legend. Michael Grant, g'day, legends. G'day, Michael. What should I do with Hugo Garcia? Is he ever coming back?
He probably will go on the weekend because I think he played, right? Can you pull up his VFL stats from last week?
That means we have to trade. That means we have Sam Berry's face has to go. Oh, well, bad luck.
Oh, poor Sam Berry. Oh.
He looks like an angry bird, doesn't he?
Don't even get
he looks like an angry bird to me. 14 disposals.
13 tackles. Holy mate. I know they probably played on some like backyard school ground somewhere, but When your player has 13 tackles, you know what you say, Joe? Get in my team. This guy is going to play better, like sooner rather than later. Mate, he's got to play. I think Garcia is one of those ones similar to a Sexton where, yes, I don't think he's going to have the role where he gets a million touches and scores huge, but he's going to come back at some point. So don't be throwing Garcia out. Saints need help. I think they won on the weekend, right? But Saints need help. They've got to play him. You know how many tips I got this week? 3.
You suck.
What a load of nonsense, Joe.
How'd you get 3?
3. 3 tips.
Oh,
mate. I'd have done better if there was a couple of buys. At least I can't lose that week. Holy moly.
Yeah, they're not going to win, I don't think.
Yeah, potentially they'll go down to 1, but it's still no Harley Reid rising star. Commentators are already trying to get them to change the rules just for Harley Reid so he can still win. But yeah, can't do it. Sorry, mate.
Frankie, Wilson, Clahisi, Graham to Ed, Richards, Moore, and Dawson at this stage for me.
I like it.
Richards, huge.
I have seen some people. I don't know if anyone in the chat still has a boost, but I've seen some pretty amazing trades, like people running 4 trades this week and getting rid of like 3 or 4 of your 300k plus players and just banking at 3 promos, man. It looks beautiful. You can manage it.
Wow. Travis took the hit with 12 playing 1765. Very impressive.
How do you make 1765 with 12? Like, you must have got the bot. But how do you have 12 playing? Maybe 12 not playing, but how do you have 12
playing? Oh, my God.
There's no way.
Jonas, g'day, Jonas. Any defensive mid DPP rookies available over the next couple of weeks? I heard D8. Yeah, Zach Reid is Charlie.
Do you know how long he's out for, Joe?
Freaking forever.
Is he? Look, next year again.
Hey, you get him for 123k next year. There's the benefit. There's always a silver lining, and we have a cheap rookie for next year.
You know what? He might actually be cheaper. He might be 117k because he's only got an average of 15. So he might actually be cheaper next year. I'm not sure how the averaging works out, but that could be it. El Huahi is one from the Bombers who I think we need to be looking at over the next
couple of weeks. I love the way you say it. Just call him Saad, bro. Just call him Saad.
Yeah, whatever. I'm white. That's it, Joe.
He's white. Uncultured. White. Mate, we got some average calls. Mate, they got even more average calls. Okay? Even more average. Even more. Nick Hind says hello. Twice he got done for deliberate out of bounds. He's trying to run onto it. I don't know if the umpire has ever watched football, but Nick Hind is fast. And he tries to kick the ball to himself. He's not trying to get it out of bounds. Like that twice alone was unbelievable. Quirkless. Jackson, best for... Oh, he's talking to Jackson. Very nice. A violin just for Joe. Oh, much love, Bello. Much love. Freddie, don't know trades this week. Only Clahisi to Dawson. 225 in the bank. I need a few more round 15 buys. So who should I target? Currently looking at English.
A few more players that have round 15 buys. Darcy Moore's definitely one that I'm looking at. I have now brought into my team. Maybe I'll do my team review after this. Sorry, not Darcy Moore, Dylan Moore. You know what I mean.
You keep saying Darcy Moore all the time.
I know. I can bring Darcy Moore in. I don't mind. Maybe I'll bring Darcy Moore in just to keep the tradition going. He's definitely one to look at. There's a few dogs players. I know Skodfather's going after English. Not English, Ed Richards. So he's another one potentially. I think we just have to be careful of loading up on this one. Like, I look at my team now, and there hasn't been too many round 12 players, but I don't know if I can even afford anymore. Like, Jack Steele, Nick Dacos is there. Yes, I do have some coverage, but yeah, it's you bring too many of these players in, and it can hurt.
It can. But if you're pretty light, like I'm pretty light in round 15 myself, which is why I'm trading in Dylan Moore. So even with Dylan Moore, that brings me up to 4 premiums in round 15.
Let me check how many I've got. Premiums wise, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now I have 4. So it's not terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a few
getting
rookies,
into fish. We'll have them, don't worry. Getting into fish this week, very nice. Well done, Harry.
Yeah.
Come on, Big J. Joe's a lawyer, so this is the hardest he works all week. Are you kidding me? I look forward to this because I get to just lean back in my chair and just talk shit, mate. This is it's very stressful line of work. West Coast Eagles rule, dealing with especially the type of law I do. Coming here and just relaxing and just debriefing and acting like a larrikin. Don't really get to do that during the day. So this is I thank you for coming and having some banter with me because you make the week so much more enjoyable. I promise you. G Money, good evening to you, G Money. Good to see you, mate. Money. Shawshank, the Shawshank Redemption, incredible movie, 100%. G'day, legends. Need some mid-season recruits to play. Hopefully this week. Jacob Blight, intercept defender, looks great. Need more rookies. We'll get them. We will get them.
Yeah. I think Richmond will definitely have a few. I don't know if we can do a bit of a stat tracker, Joe, but can you check out Richmond's guy and check out Jacob Blight to see like what their stats were like? Because I think there was quite a few other teams that might have had mid-season recruits actually play. I'm not sure. Like I know Hutchinson from West Coast did quite well as well. So maybe they don't have stats yet. But I know like there's quite a few. Hutchinson, I'm pretty sure, scored quite well, and there's a few others as well. So yeah.
I know Sam and Holder did really well for us in the VFL.
Yeah, I think Hutchinson's kicked 5 goals or something for West Coast.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. But I think Blight for sure, I think plays. And I was even thinking about getting him in last week.
He plays this week.
Yeah, exactly. So he could be someone that he could be someone that you get in this week instead of like a Dawson, for example. Will Dawson, that is, because you don't know what his job security is like. B. James, at what round do you think Payne will get his debut, Big J?
If North didn't have the bye last week, I think he would have played VFL, which means that potentially he could have played this week. I just don't like kind of giving these predictions off players who come straight off their buys. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, really. Sooner rather than later, I think, for him. And same with Teakle as well. Like, they're both fundamental players who play positions that we desperately need. So I think there's definitely there's a spot for you. We need you in the team. Let's just figure out how kind of fit you are and game ready so you'll start playing.
Yeah. Rage traded 5 last week. Typical, isn't it? Isn't it?
Freo went bang, mate. I don't think I've seen a game like this where Melbourne have not been beaten. Melbourne did not have a single player over 100. Yes, Jack Viney scored 99, which is very close to 100, but it's not 100, Joe. And Freo had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players over 100. So, yeah, it's, mate, a bit of a kick in the pants, tell you what.
What is this accuracy? Seriously, what is this? Yeah. What is this? Essendon.
Not bad.
Look at this, Essendon, right? Look at Fremantle and learn from Fremantle. You get big scores. You get big numbers when you kick more goals than points.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? When you don't
kick behind, even win games. Oh. You can even win games if you kick more goals than behinds, Essendon. Bloody hell. Zach Merritt, Langford, Nick Martin, and Stringer. All 4 of them combined for 0 goals, 10 behinds, and 1 out on the full. Look, Essendon, this is what you have to do. Bloody hell. Globes, g'day, mate. How you doing?
What's up, Globes?
Aussie abroad. Hey, guys, should I trade down to Bruce off the bye? Take a gamble on Aaliyah, McMullen, or McNeil?
No. I think I don't know. I said it before. I feel bad about Harrison into my team. I think it's the same feeling with these kind of players. Like, get your 102k players, get the guys who are super cheap that you can bring in, and finish the upgrades in your team. I don't think like the time's passed with these players. Even like a Dempsey didn't work out. Now, I think Kai Lohman is probably the only one that if you had brought in at like 180k, things like that, that actually would have been a good pick. Yes, Lee Kali is fantastic, and maybe he's another one that will work out just for the role. But I think outside of that, like, no.
The question is, does he keep the role? Like,
Well,
why is
he's not going to score 110 or whatever he scored every week. Like, he's just not. Yeah. So
he
maybe you get like 80k worth out of him if you're lucky. It's not really worth the trade.
Oh my God. Even Mason Redmond has undergone a scan today for a hamstring concern. Oh my God. We're going to get killed by Carlton this week.
Joe, is Langford out for a while?
We don't know. It looks pretty serious, to be honest.
Yeah, it would have been the perfect time for Reid to come back. Like, there's players who can play, and yeah, unlucky.
Yeah, we're going to get destroyed this week, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know. I like Aaliyah.
It does mean that your 102k rookie is going to come in. What it's looking like. True.
From a Supercoach perspective, it could be okay. El Haule, yes. Lucky I didn't put my house on Harley Reid for Rising Star. Indeed. Never put your house on anything. Jeez. Only put the house on a solid foundation, and that's it. The Primo, I'm thinking more McGovern Curnow. Leaning towards more and getting Gov after his bye. Yeah, and it means if you get Gov after his bye, then it means that you'll avoid a potential injury between now and then. And if you are getting him after the bye, it also means that you have to hold him for less weeks. He doesn't need to last as many weeks for you compared to if you brought him in earlier. So it works that way.
See, I would go MyGov. In that situation, I would probably do MyGov. If that's what you're thinking about, he plays North Melbourne twice, and he's going to take all the kick-ins. North Melbourne is probably going to kick 18 behinds this week, which means MyGov is going to get like handed the ball straight to him. I'm pretty sure West Coast play us twice as well, which is why like a lot of people were considering bringing Harley Reid back in, and it sucks that he's going to miss 1 to 2 weeks because this is like prime cash cow Harley Reid going to score 160 like this week. Yeah, MyGov would probably be the pick. I like Moore because he plays forward, but if MyGov played forward, I would probably pick MyGov.
Yeah, okay. Jonas, last year we couldn't see Unstable. Good job taking out the C at the front. Well done. Keeping it PG friendly. This year, I can't see Mana getting a game at this rate. Can you?
Yeah, it really sucks. It really sucks for Mana because North Melbourne were after him. North Melbourne were going to offer Geelong decent pick to be able to pick this player up. Geelong selected him and have now relegated him to the VFL. Like, come on, mate. He's going to come in.
He's been playing well. Look at him. Well, 15 disposals. 3 goals, 22 disposals
at the standard because he was doing this for is it Williamstown's VFL? He was doing the same thing. So like he knows how to play VFL because he's obviously played VFL and then he's come into a team. But you don't relegate like the league's best small forward to hey back to playing VFL because you won't give him a chance at another club. Like yeah, it just kind of sucks.
Who's he kicking out of the team is the problem. It's not his problem.
Stengel, if you look at that side from the weekend, right? Let me quickly pull up the stats.
Yeah, the problem isn't him. The problem is the team that he's trying to break into.
Of course. And when you're not good enough, you can't play. Like Stengel will keep him out of a spot. Brian Myers probably keeps him out of a spot a little bit. Even Gary Rowan keeps him out of a spot. Like I think he's a good player in front of the sticks. But I'm not necessarily sure how quick he is, like overall, and his ability to run up, down on the ground. So, yeah, it's a bit different playing in like your small suburban grounds versus playing the big grounds.
These are all established players. It's so hard to.
And even like a Dempsey probably keeps him out of a spot a little bit, just being able to like
play a wing,
quick kick in front of goals as well. Like, yeah, he had a fantastic game on the weekend too. Best game of his season, really.
Because he can run up and down the wing as well, whereas you don't really if when you're a specialized small forward, he's going to really need one of the small forwards in this team to either go down with injury or get suspended. It's hard. I can't see him breaking in anytime soon, especially if the Cats start to win, because they don't really have any older. They're not old, the smalls in their team. If Manoa's a key forward,
the problem.
Yeah. Velo, looking at trading Wilson, Sam Darcy, and Kalahisi to Zorko, Will Dawson, and Lee Kalir, and banking 295,000. Thoughts?
Let me just see. Sam Darcy. I personally, Velo, I would rather have you, if I had your team, try and get into primos. I think I was definitely punished last week. Maybe this week's a little bit different because of the teams that actually miss out. It's not really best 18, it's best 22, and cool if you've got a Freo and Port Adelaide player that's just not playing. That's effectively what it's going to be. Yes, it is best 18 score, so that way it's a little bit different. But unless someone there specifically like who's playing this week, maybe you're keeping your money for Houston, for example. Potentially he's one that you're going to bring in afterwards. But I was punished last week for keeping money in the bank. Don't keep money. Keep money in the bank earlier in the season. Get your quick upgrades later on. But now people are going to have better teams than you and not 295k in the bank. Like you want to spend it. You want to bring in another primo. You want to be able to do those things. So I don't know. I personally would be looking to trying to use that money somewhere else and get another primo if you can.
Yeah, I agree. I banked the money last week because there was no point bringing in a premium. Because there was no point bringing in a premium when they're about to have their buy. But now that we're coming out of the first buys, now you can every week bringing in a premium that has just come off their buy. You know what I mean? Like this is now a great time to upgrade rather than just hold cash. I think if you were looking to hold cash, I think last week probably was the week to do it.
Yeah, and it wasn't the week to do it for me.
Cully and Hall both got 30 plus in the waffle and Hutch. Yeah, excellent. Love to hear it. I ended up going shopping at the aquarium this morning, only as he's a forward DPP and roll fairly safe, even with Kobe coming back, and he's starting to sell into the club, which can take time. Yep, that's the fish.
Yeah, and North Melbourne, I think if we bring in someone into our back line, it's not going to be another like medium-sized player who can run off half-back. It's going to be someone who can defend. So it's not going to affect like a Sheasel or a McKercher potentially or a Fisher type role. I think someone in the Discord was saying that McKercher might be back next week, not this week. I haven't seen anything from North Melbourne saying like he's going to be back this week. So just something to watch out for, I think.
I'm hoping that's the case because I'd love to trade him in next week.
Yeah, it would be very juicy to be able to do that. Like he's cheap. Like a Klahisi straight to a McKercher would be would feed, really.
Yep. Miller got the Bont tax in the last 10 minutes for sure.
Mate, why not? He probably got the Luke Ryan tax, let's be honest. Like
better to bring in Zorko or more. Or what do you reckon? More's 500k.
Yeah, I reckon if you could handle it, probably Zorko. I don't know how do halfbacks go against the Bulldogs, Joe?
They're so neutral.
Okay. The only reason why I wouldn't pick more is because of his buy. But at that price, and I think he's got a fairly low break even. Let me just check. 47 break even. So he's going to go up in cash again.
Yep, and he will. And then you look at
I probably he's more. You're not.
He's got the Giants this week, but in the next 2 weeks, he's got Richmond and West Coast.
Which is why I wanted to bring him in.
It's pretty juicy.
Paul Lafau, Joe. I know, like he's been our favorite player, but that injury, mate. Did you see that? Like his knee kind of was straight and went. Like, yeah, it was not great to watch, and he was just on fire. Like every week, kind of getting better and better and better, and yeah, it's a tough one, man.
Mikelti Lafau. Will never be forgotten, Mikelti. I love you.
He'll be back.
Maybe not. North to get their first win of the year this week.
No chance. even without Harley Reid, like I think Elliot Yeo would need to be out, and then probably MyGov would probably need to be out as well. Like our team is just so dysfunctional that like our team transplanting in a bunch of other players from other clubs might make it better, but yeah, there's just something fundamentally wrong. So I hope so. I hope we get a win. You know, I don't care about Josh Smiley. I hope he's a great player and whatever. There's fantastic players picked in the top like 6 to 8 positioning as well that end up being better than the number 1 pick. So that doesn't matter. But yeah, I just don't think we win. I won't tip North Melbourne this week.
Yeah. Zorko has a huge break even next week. You can wait on him.
Yeah. He could beat it. It is Dane Zorko, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sam Berry in your team, not for all the blow in the world, but Adelaide confirmed that Crouch is out for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Joe's been drinking too much of his own bathwater. I actually haven't had a shower yet, so I refute that comment.
That's nice.
I'm liking now that Crouch is out for the season. I'm liking Laird.
Yeah. As I was saying, if you can bring him in if you want. He's cheap. It just has the buy round in 2 weeks. And unfortunately, I don't have any more mids to fill my team. So if you dodged a Jordan Dawson last week, congratulations. I think Dawson's going to score better if he's not injured. And I think that kind of goes along to Laird as well. So, yeah. You just have to have the money, really. And I'm busy upgrading other parts of my team. The money is slowly slowing down. I've still got cash, but the train is slowly slowing down. So, yeah, you just kind of have to be careful a little bit.
Bury the tackling machine. Get around it, mate. He loves the tackle.
He loves a good tackle, but he's just not good anywhere else. That's the problem.
That's fine. There's no Crouch for the rest of the season.
Yeah. When I hear, I don't have enough money to finish my team, I was like, yeah, well, I wonder why.
What to do with McRae or Oliver? Look, McRae you hold. Oliver is a different story. What the hell do you do with Oliver, man? He looks he looked so bad. He looked so bad.
Curse the day you brought him in for like 430K, just when you think that he was going to be good. That's the big problem, really. Yeah, it's a tough one.
58%.
I'm glad I didn't bring him in. I know there was people saying go and do it, and he probably will score well from now on after I say that. But yeah, it's a no from me.
Break even at 134.
Reconsider trading him at his buy. That's all I'm going to say. Look for who's cheap around his buy and figure that out then.
Exactly.
But you've got like one more week of Oliver. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Frankie, any news on McKercher? No, nothing official as of yet, but some people are saying that he could be back next week, not this week. So we'll see in time, in the fullness of time. Sportsnut, hello up the Hawks. Congratulations on your Hawks. Very good win. 21-20 this week. Well done. Tally Beaver, Williams, Clahisi, and Wilson to Ridley, Ed Richards, and LDU this week for me. Just leaves 2 forward upgrades needed to join Heaney, Zorko, Flanders, and Fisher. So you're looking at probably Dylan Moore and Rankin, I guess, for those last 2.
I hope that do you reckon Crouch being out affects Rankin in any way? Like when Rankin eventually comes back? Like makes his scoring better or worse or not really? Because I worry that like instead of having the guy being able to take like 30 to 40% CBAs and actually do something, the pressure goes on him to do a lot more, which could affect his scoring negatively.
I mean, Rankin was getting some CBAs. At the same time that Crouch was getting CBAs. Like it's you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's one or the other. They're played two different type of midfielders.
Yeah.
So it works.
I just worry. Like sometimes when a player like this goes down, cool, you get more CBAs, but then you miss out on like the ball distributing or like the half back role that you end up kicking a few goals from or was used as that transition play, you know. You're stuck in the midfield sometimes. Some players it works out, some players it doesn't.
Yeah, Berry's not a kicker though. Berry will play the same role that Crouch played.
Oh, forget Berry. You and your Berry. Let's make every
Berry.
comment Berry.
It's all about Berry, mate. No, because see here, Jonas, Joe, check last year's CBAs. All right. Sam Berry, 56% CBAs, hardly played. But when he did, he got a few. Where was he the rest of the season? Hardly ever played. Maybe I shouldn't be trading in Sam Berry, but who knows? We'll see. Glad I traded out Zach Berry early.
1 or 2K rookie, you jump on there instead and you save yourself a trade. Because Berry's not going to be better than you being able to trade out a Primo later once they get injured.
Yeah. I traded out Zach Reed early as well. I don't know. I just had a feeling that the kid's cursed, so I just traded him out, and it's worked out okay.
Yeah, but you've got Marty Hoare. Don't act like it's a better pick for you.
Mate, Marty Hoare's made some money. How much is Zach Reed? What does Zach Reed cost? Huh? What does Zach Reed cost?
Okay, all right then. Fair enough. Marty Hoare's made some money. You can downgrade Marty Hoare to a better player than what you can Zach Reed. I suppose that's
correct. Correct.
I win on your high horse, mate. 20K.
I win, bro. My horse is too high. I'm about to fall off, man. Altitude sickness, second on the ladder. Hard to see down.
Yeah.
Look, I might not do it. Rankin coming back, Pedler now fit. Joe, don't do it. I'll listen to you. You've never let me down. You've never let me down. Now then, saying that, Crouch also is a pretty crap user of the ball as well.
It was just getting free handballs.
Yeah. Cap and Flash, I can basically get any mid. I'm thinking about getting Warner based on this current form. Or should I bring in a Dunkley or Neil? Or bring back Shees? Only looking at getting people post-buy.
If I could get the money and could get anyone, Dunkley would be the pick for me. Dunkley's fantastic. He's going to be an ultra pod. Not many people are going to have him. I think Neil might end up having an okay level of scoring, but I think Dunkley's the one for me if I could bring anyone in. Shees will be fantastic. Like, I don't know why people traded him out. He had 2 bad games and then was like, yep, get rid of him. But yeah, I think I don't know, Joe. Goulden's a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. And same with Chad Warner. He's a fantastic player as well. But I think you pick up the guy that like we've had in our Supercoach teams for the past 5 years and he's been a mainstay every year. And we know what he can score and we know what he's averaging right now. Like, Dunkley is very, very, very good, and he's still cheap. Like comparatively, he's still cheap. 50K more. Like, look at his average. Like, it's fantastic. Yeah, I would probably pick Dunkley. Who would you pick, Joe?
For me, it's either Dunkley or
Warner. Nah. See, if it's between those two, Dunkley every day of the week. Like, it legitimately, if it's between those two, you pick Dunkley. LDU's had form, yes, but he's not as consistent. And his form is more based on, cool, I'm playing this week versus, like, I'm actually a good player. So, yeah, I don't know.
Mate,
LDU coming up to buy. I'm never going to advocate. I'm not going to advocate for anyone to bring in LDU into their team.
Prime.
We want to keep the fans. We don't want to lose them, Joe.
Prime. He's in his prime. Look at his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Cool.
His last 6.
Cool. And then what's Dunkley's last 6? Like,
let's have a look. Let's compare. So that was 113.
Yeah. What's Dunkley's last
6? Josh Dunkley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 113 to 114. But you're saving how much money?
30K? 30K?
576, 30K for 1 point.
I would still pick Dunkley every day of the week.
Fair enough.
Like LDU is not going to have LDU. I doubt LDU scores a 150 from now on. I think Dunkley probably does at some point.
He's got West Coast this week.
Yeah,
LDU without Harley Reid.
I don't know.
Look at this. He's getting more CBAs than Tristan Sherry.
I don't know.
He's getting more CBAs than the Ruckman.
Don't convince the fans, guys. I'm sorry. This is not me. This is Joe.
How? How is he getting more CBAs than the Ruckman, mate?
Because I think he's time on ground with bonkers last week. What was his time on ground?
He's turning it around. He's turning it around. LDU is a sneaky one. And he's a pod as well.
Yeah, but Dunkley's a pod too.
Not as poddy as this guy.
All right, Joe. All right. So LDU played 90% game time and Cherry played 88%. That's why LDU had the highest game time of anyone on field. Actually, that's not true. Aiden Core did at 92%. But yeah, it's
25, 27, 23.
There's 29. No way. He had 18 contested possessions and scored a 117. How does that make sense, Joe?
His disposal efficiency was only 63%.
Yeah, exactly. Because he plays for North Melbourne. Like,
he had 85% the week before.
Yeah.
Everybody scored.
I don't know. Do what you like, guys. I'm never going to advocate bringing in LDU. Like Harry Sheasel, fine. Get Harry Sheasel in your team. But never advocate for bringing in LDU. Like, the guy would have to be 300K at the start of the season for me to be like, yeah, take a punt.
Hey, all I'm saying, as I've been saying basically all night so far, in this 57 minutes, is keep an open mind. That's all I ask.
That's fair.
Yeah. Look at all of your options. Don't just pigeonhole yourself into what you think is definitely. Broaden the horizons, and you never know where your next epiphany might strike. You never know. But all I can say is that this is not financial advice, and this is not Supercoach advice. So please don't try and sue me.
It is Supercoach advice.
It is Supercoach advice. But this, I'm not saying go get it. I'm not saying go get it. I'm almost like a catalog. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, keep an eye open. Exactly. And if it doesn't work, don't come back and tell me, Joe, you're a freaking nuffy and you don't know shit. All right. Ultimately, it's your own call to make. All right. I'm just here letting you know that there are other options out there that you are worth serious consideration. That's all I have to say. There you go. Freddie's on board. Not going to lie. I rate the Sam Berry pick. There you go. I've got someone here. Thank you, Freddie. Cap and Flash. So no Ridley this week for me. This week. He's got the bye next week. Don't do that. Don't get him in now. Joe and Sam Berry. Hey, fun birds, get a room. Nathan Van Berlo. He was a great player when he was playing, Nathan Van Berlo. Honestly, even with DPP, I wouldn't touch Berry. Fair enough. Maybe you have allergies. Once Rankin comes back, you might get some of those CBAs. Well,
yeah, I think so. Is there any progress on Rankin? That's probably the big thing. I don't know what's happening with my team in F6 at the moment, but it is most likely Rankin. If I can afford him, really.
Look, Crouch comes out. Berry come in. Rankin continues getting what he's getting. The maths still maths, guys. But yes. Sam Berry looked good when he came in on the weekend, and with just hearing Crouch out and no other cheap mid options, so go with your gut. There you go. Exactly. Go with the gut. Trust the gut, especially if it's a big one. It loves you a lot.
Like Gamblers Anonymous. Trust your gut. Like,
Dan, I'm getting Ridley.
Go with the decision. That works out well.
I love it. Getting Rids. Yeah. Look, I love Rids.
I'm actually considering Ridley. The only reason I wouldn't is because he's got a bye round coming up. That's legitimately like round 14 sucks. And my cover for round 14 is now Closey, who needs to go in like 2 weeks. So, yeah. One more week of Closey dodgy scores. That's what I'm going to say.
Wow. I reckon Moore won't go over 100 in any game for the rest of the year.
We'll see. If he goes 95, he's still a forward keeper. Like, he's still a forward keeper, though. That's the thing.
For sure. At
It's not
500k
too
as
bad.
well.
Yeah.
500k is not expensive. Is what is value. Did anyone end up fighting McAuliffe? Heard he was reported
like him and Harley Reid. Harley Reid was like at 95 at halftime, and I got pissed off that I traded Harley Reid, and then he dropped to like 30 points. McAuliffe was the same thing, Joe. The guy was on 70 and then went backwards. No one saw him. He got stuck in the toilet or something, I reckon.
I don't know, man. He must have thought, crap, am I about to get Sam Berry in my Supercoach team, and then just petrified and just didn't play anymore. So I don't know what's going on there. But hey, he's made us some money. He's making us money. That's the most important thing. Plus,
that's the big thing.
No Dusty Martin this week apparently as well. So that's even better for him.
Yeah, he's one that I would have loved to get in instead of Harrison. Like, I know he's forward eligible, right? He's got DPP, McAuliffe?
No.
Okay, cool. So if he's mid only, I don't feel too bad about the trade then. Actually, nah, stuff it. I could have put Fraser in the forward line. Yeah, I don't feel great about the trade. Harry Harrison instead of McAuliffe would have been fantastic for me this week. I picked up Big McAuliffe instead. The only reason why I didn't is because Harrison's playing another game. That's
fair enough.
That's the reason.
Fair enough. Post by mid poll, rate them. Neil, Dunkley, Warner, Goulden, LDU.
Dunkley, Neil, Warner, Goulden, and then LDU at the end. I just think post by Brisbane is going to be another animal, and the coach is going to have cracked the shits at them every day of the week off, and basically said, "You Muppets, we're not losing." There you go, Joe. Have basically said, "You Muppets, we're not going to lose from now on. We're going to make finals. Hurry up and play." That's basically the instructions that the club's going to have had.
I go Dunkley, LDU.
Oh, of course.
How old is Lockie Neal?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter because you get more chance of regression as you age, and becomes harder to maintain your average over the course of the season. So Dunkley's in the prime of his career, as is LDU. Now, LDU I've put ahead of Warner simply because Warner, there's no way he can keep sustaining this, and surely he gets some attention. Surely. You can't keep letting him
which is why I had him lower down on the list.
Yeah. So I'm going Dunkley, LDU in close, very, very close second. Warner, Neil, Goulden.
Yeah, fair enough.
Goulden's too much of an outside player for me.
Like, he scored 80, 80, 80, and then like a 110. Like, anyone that's going Goulden is just looking at the price tag. And for the price tag, I think Laird's a better pick.
Yeah. So Muppets has got 118k in the bank.
Let's have a look. Backline is getting close to done, so you can just wait until Sexton has got a break next week. Oi, big Ned Moyle, Joe. That's probably where I would say a little bit of those problems are coming in. You really got to start setting yourself up. The thing that's going to differentiate, I hate that word, be the difference between your team and everyone else's team come post buy is going to be the what players you've got on the bench, really, and then what players you've got in your midfield, because the forward line's looking like it's going to be the same for most people. So the pods are really important. Looking at this team, though, it's not bad. He's got coverage across a lot of spaces. I think he's got one forward and one defender to finish.
And a ruckman.
Yeah, and a better ruckman, which is probably the big thing.
I mean, you could trade out Darcy to Darcy plus 118k. So you could get
a more. You'd be very close to getting a more.
Yeah, it won't be exact. You have to do a 1 down, 1 up in order to do that. So Darcy to Moore, and then maybe either.
Look, I would probably offload Caulfield to a Blight, maybe. Get yourself 20k. Hopefully he's named this week, and then you can go, or even Caulfield to a Will Dawson if Will Dawson's named, and then put him in the team, and then go Darcy up. That would probably be my feelings on the matter. And then you could even swing a Fisher to the back line if you want to, or have like some form of DPP that way.
Yep. Very good. Congratulations. I think I'll end up with both Mackay and Curnow. Yeah, they're going to go.
Fine. You just have to be careful. Like we saw on the weekend how up and down the team was, and one will do well and one won't do well, which is the big issue, trying to predict which one of the two will do well. Or you've got Tom de Koning, who ends up going big and everyone else goes crappy. So, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, he's handcuffing himself. He's making sure that he's going to get the big score from at least one of them on any particular week. Because we think Carlton
have no key forwards and have a better score. That's the problem.
Yeah, but Carlton could finish top 4 with their run home. And a lot of it will come down to both Mackay and Curnow kicking goals, right?
And this week, like if you look at their scoring, this week Mackay did well, and then Curnow did also well. So, like, there's still options. They can still both score well. I think Mackay is probably the big one. Curnow, I think a lot of people are jumping on, but Mackay potentially having ruck, like not ruck status, but playing a little bit in the ruck gives him that second option of scoring, and I think that's helped him a little bit in
correct.
Well.
Oh, Cheese got 3 tips as well this week.
Yep.
There you go.
It was rough. I don't want to look at my work tips because I was 5th in the league and then not 5th anymore, mate. Tell you what.
Okay, Jen, hope you're doing well. G Money, your bias comes into tipping. Suns don't lose at home. Did you tip the Bombers, G Money? I actually tipped the Suns. I tipped the Suns.
I tipped the Bombers. I thought you guys were going to win.
We should have won if we kicked straight.
No Ruckman. You know, I mean, like Goldie was out eventually, but yeah, no Ruckman and a few other things. I thought you guys had it.
Well, we should have if we kicked straight, but yeah, I got 5 out of 7 this week.
Oh, get around you,
fellow.
Joe.
I wish I got 3 in right. Oh my god, got even less. Jeez. West Coast Eagles rule for also with 5. Very nice.
I think I was very lucky that I had picked West Coast.
Did you?
I didn't pick West. Sorry, I picked West Coast. Sorry, I thought I was lucky that I picked Hawthorn. Like, super pod, whatever. And then just kind of fell off.
I tipped Adelaide. Adelaide and Melbourne were my 2 wrong ones this week. I can't fathom having a boost. I don't even remember what it feels like.
Yeah, I've seen some monster trades though. People have got like a boost left, and they can just trade out all your duds in one go and just nab the players you want. It's pretty nasty.
Sports clips: Wilson and Rogers to Dawson and Leakalier.
Sure.
Wilson and Rogers to Dawson. Are we talking Jordan Dawson?
Maybe he's got enough money.
Might get managed this week. Don't do it, Sports Clips. Don't do it. He's got a foot problem and he did not look right at all.
And then he's got a buy after the foot problem.
Exactly. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Aussie Abroad, hey, lads, I have Flanders, Heaney, Zorko, Fisher in my forward line. The last 2 spots. Have we not already spoken about this?
Yeah, I thought you did this one already.
Oh, no. All right, don't worry about it. Rankin, I think, is up. Yes, correct. Rankin after the bye for sure. Be careful that leak doesn't turn into a spud.
Well, I don't think it's the spud. Oh, yeah, I think that's a good vegetable joke there. But I don't know if he's going to turn into a spud more than like other people are just going to take a bit of that role. I mean, if we look at Leakalier, his scoring was great. But the week that he scored 100 was the week that he got 2 intercept marks with 2 minutes left that won them the game. So if that didn't happen, he probably misses out on 30 points. And are we talking about Leakalier on 70? Probably not.
No. Joe, what's happening? Hein is making me like him. Bro, every Essendon supporter is as shocked as you are, Cheese. What is happening with Hind?
Well, why is what's happening? Do you know what's happening? What's happening is now he doesn't need to cover everything, and he basically can do what he wants to do. That's the thing. Like, players like Nick Hind, he doesn't have to, like, you just set him forward and you make him run forward, and then he's great. But when he's got to start to do like 10 other things and things like that, that's when he gets a bit confused, Joe. And he's like, run around Nick Hind. So, yeah. And he's not the sub as well, right?
Correct. He's been the sub just about every week.
Yep.
And then
he's not the player you want to sub.
And then he's not sub anymore, and he becomes our best player. He was our best player, without a doubt. Nick mother flippin' Hind. I'm still not going to touch him. No way. But far out. Hopefully he keeps us up for the Bombers' sake, because you never know what's going to happen next week if he comes back to a 68 type of guy. So, yeah. Well done, Nick. Keep going, mate. Keep going. No, we'll do that one. I said calm it down, not fire up. Come on. You know the rules. You talk about my Bombers, I get fired up. Golden or Neil? Golden. Neil or Golden?
Golden or Neil? I would pick Neil.
All right, I'll go Golden then.
I like Neil.
I'm just gonna go Golden just for the age, because Neil is
and Sydney are first on the ladder, which is huge. But I think the way that Brisbane plays, they're going to be playing through him and Dunkley a lot more, especially in the second half of the season. So, yeah, I don't think Neil is projected to go under 100 for the rest of the season. So, if that's saying something, what about Goulden? Obviously, projections don't matter, but you can take into account previous scoring versus opposition. So,
yeah, Lake Alir. Alir is an interesting one. He played really well, and he does look very good. I actually do like the look of him.
Him and Mac Andrew are going to be like superstars of the league, and I think as someone who works with a lot of people in that level of community, like African community and things like that, it looks really good. Like both of them doing well is going to make the AFL better, and it's going to make a lot more people watch the game. I just don't know if it's going to be like kind of what. Yeah, as I said before, right? If he scores a 70, do we care? I don't know. That's the big thing.
The thing is, does he keep his spot in the team? Is my problem. I think if he plays,
I think he plays. I think he plays. I just don't know if he keeps anywhere close to this level of scoring. Probably not.
Who comes out for Buckley though? Because Jack Buckley is absolutely best 22. Someone has to come out for Jack Buckley. He was 1 to 2 weeks.
They'll figure out some pleb.
He was 1 to 2 weeks before the game this week. So Joe Buckley could be back this week.
And I think Brown automatically comes in as well. So there's another player. Obviously doesn't play backline, but there's another player who gets slotted straight in the team. But I just think outside of who comes in for Bruce, Joe? That's what I want to know. But
a shin. I have not seen a shin injury before. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think he's too good for them. He's shown what he can do.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Captain Flash. Any thoughts on Chad Warner? Yeah, he's a great player.
Good player. Good player. I think he'll get shut down, though. I think clubs are going to start putting time into him. It's really good James Jordan's on his team, so he doesn't get tagged by James Jordan, because James Jordan would do funny things. But the beautiful thing about Warner versus some other players is just that burst speed, I think, is something different, and it's a very hard thing to tag, because you can be playing on a player and then he'll just go jump around and then that's it. So, yeah.
But we have a new interpretation for holding the ball now.
That's fair.
And he's one who likes to barge through and take on the tackler. He could be in for a rude awakening this week.
You just don't get the issue is, if you don't have their arms, it doesn't count as being held the ball. That's probably the big thing. So if he is good, he'll just barge through and cool. They've got him around the legs, or they hold on to him for a little bit longer, but you should be able to run through. Once you grab the arm, then it's cool, you're being held. So that's the way that I see it anyway.
Logan, Joe needs some legal representation. I want to sue Supercoach for $700K so I can afford Gorn. Thanks in advance.
Mate, if I could sue Supercoach for a few extra trades, I'd do that.
Mate, just start a GoFundMe page. It will be easier. It will be easier.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kobe playing? Only time will tell.
Yeah, I don't think it will be this week. I think at the very least, like McCurch is a fantastic player, but he's a young kid, so they're going to want to put him through. I'm saying they're going to want him to put him through a VFL run, basically.
Ooh, G Bags.
What's up,
Thank you, G Bags. Thank you so much, bro. Thoughts on who I should prioritize getting in this week? Thinking either Tom Green or Goulden can only
Can you get someone
one.
Else? Can you get someone else? Because yeah, I good like I think out of those two, probably Goulden. But if you're gonna get Goulden, why would you not just get Rory Laird? Like,
because Rory Laird is watched.
He's not though. Crouch is out, man. Rory Laird's gonna score 110.
It won't be. It will be Sam Berry in the midfield. It won't be Laird.
Shut up, Sam Berry. Shut up, you Sam Berry.
Get Tom Green. Get Tom Green, bro. Tom Green.
I just don't know. Tom Green's a weird one. Like, they just ran past him, and they're going to continue to keep running past him.
He's 490K.
I know, but you want to bring in a player who you know is actually going to score. Like, Tom Green's a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. I love Tom Green. He's in my team. I want him to score 150 this week. But in terms of actual like Supercoach scoring and consistency, mate, he's too slow for the game at the moment, Joe.
Mate,
GWS get the ball from the middle and they kick it forward. And Tom Green's just left like trying to chudge around and do things. He had 10 clangers on the weekend. Like I think he's getting a bit underscored, but yeah, he's it's a real tough one, man.
Disposal efficiency can get cleaned up. You saw what happened with Nick Martin.
Yeah, but
started bad with bad disposal efficiency.
Tom Green's too slow, so he just gets it and handballs it. Like Tom Green's turning into Matt Crouch. Like the guy doesn't do much, and then he runs around and gets handballs. And then cool, okay, the handballs are bad, so Tom Green like gets a poor score. I don't like it.
Tom Green is top 8 mid.
No.
Yep.
I would put money that Tom Green is not a top 8 mid from now on.
All right. Wait, did we not have a bet the other week?
I don't know. I can't remember. The fans will let us know.
I could have sworn we had a bet on something the other week.
I can't remember. We had a bet in like round 4. Since then, we haven't had a bet. So, yeah.
We clearly don't. We're clearly not betting men. We clearly don't hold each other accountable.
We clearly keep each other accountable for nothing.
Redmond out could be good for Nico, for sure. It could be very good for Nico Martin. Correct. Jonas. Joe, Brad Supercoach Pro. Yes, we know Brad needs legal representation. Kelly Underwood has been living rent-free in his spank. Mate, Kelly Underwood, mate. It's Green Bird. We love you, Green Bird. Issa, Warner, Goulden, or LDU. I'm gonna say LDU out of those three.
Warner, Goulden, LDU. Rory Laird.
Has a bye coming up.
Yeah, but round 15, there's not too many. Like, I only have 4 players from round 15 in total. I don't think there's many people that have gotten mids from round 15. So you can afford it. Like, it's not terrible.
Saving to get either Rankin or Houston after the buys. Definitely Rankin has to be for sure, Velo. Correct.
Yeah.
Did you see my Hemi D8 glitch? I sent you guys a pic on Facebook. Ew. I like that glitch. Hopefully it stays. Hopefully it works for you. Kobe will be coming back
for a while.
Kobe will be coming back. Yes. This week though, we don't know. We'll see.
No, I really don't think it will be this week. Like
Great
North Melbourne and injuries are atrocious. Like they're going to be saying, "Hey, play your foot, have half game time in the VFL. Like take it slow. There's no rush for this player to come back. Like, the club doesn't need him to come back. We're not pushing for finals."
Oh, Greg Wilson with the crazy eyes on Miss Monkey.
Up,
Very
Greg?
cool. Hey guys, good stuff again. Thank you. Thoughts on LDU versus Dunkley?
We just had this conversation. Dunkley's
rewind.
Better. That's it.
Rewind, and you'll see it all.
Dunkley's better.
Someone else I could trade in is one of the Suns boys. Of the 3, who should I consider more?
I would consider none because round
No.
14 bye sucks. Like,
Correct.
just don't.
Yeah. Got 300K in the bank. Do I trade Hugo Garcia to Moore or spend next week to get a Butters or a Jackson? What would you be doing this week, though?
This is a big question, man. This is a tough one. Do I trade Garcia? Yeah, okay. I don't mind trading Garcia for more, or do you spend up next week?
You could do it to a Moore because Moore is going to go up in price. His break even's really low now after a big score, whereas Butters isn't moving anywhere considering that he's having the buy now. I wouldn't be trading in Jackson. He's a fraud.
Yeah.
I reckon you can
Jackson
get more
was 400K probably, but outside of that, it's a no.
Sticking that low, I think North might get up.
It's a tough one, man. I like Butters, but I think my brain's telling me to pick more. Finish your forward line if you can. I think there's going to be other mids that are going to be around the mark that you can probably get in.
Luckily, we don't have a Sneller vision with no Joe shower. Bro, I will have a shower after this. Jeez, just calm it down. Bloody hell. Jono Carroll, g'day Jono. Same.
Have you seen? He's now put himself in for some marketing now, Mr. Supercoach over here.
I was about to say, if you haven't, chat on over, give Jono a sub. G'day guys, hope you're well, doing well. Thank you. Hopefully, I'll get your thoughts on my team soon, Sir Man of Steel. What's the follow-up on the Soldo incident? Is he out for a week? Soldo. I don't think so.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, Soldo's fine. If he was going to get reported, we would have heard about it already.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's basically been happening like one day afterwards. So by Saturday, you would have known.
Yeah. The Rising Star race is now right open. Who are you putting your money on? Look, for me, I'm not a gambling man. No, not because it's against my code or anything. I personally have nothing against gambling when it comes to sport. You know, it's a bit of fun. It's no different to you trying to buy a lottery ticket, except lottery ticket is more luck, whereas this one involves, you having a bit of skill. I myself do not gamble though. I don't like the risk of losing. But who do I think is going to win from here on out? Probably Darcy Wilson, if he keeps playing every week.
You're missing out on someone, Joe.
No, only one can win.
Big George Wardlaw. He's in for it. That's it.
That's
it. He's in for it. Wilson,
how many?
Probably, but George Wardlaw, man, if he has a good post-buy run, it's going to be awesome.
How many nominations has Wardlaw had so far this year?
A decent amount, I think. What do you mean, like nominations as in being picked for Rising Star of the Week or what?
Yes.
Well, you can only get picked once.
Has he? So what? He hasn't got it so far this year?
No, he has. He got it like round 3 or 4.
Did he already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Nando's continues his trend of a 50 then a 150. He's a roller coaster, that's for sure. Merritt in any danger of getting a ceiling score anytime soon? No. Paid top dollar for it.
And that's the problem. We flagged this a couple of weeks ago. Interview with Merritt and with other players, with Nick Martin as well. I think it was last week potentially that we talked about it, where Essendon want to play the kids and they want to build up that midfield, so it's not just rely on Zach Merritt. And we've been seeing that your Sam Durhams, your Perkins, and a few other players have been scoring big and getting a lot more of the ball compared to what it would have been last year. So yeah, it's no longer kick it to Merritt. Merritt basically has to fight for himself. And yes, he did score very well on the weekend if you play fantasy. 33 touches, but yeah, it's not great. He's been relegated to the forward line a little bit more as well, Joe. Or getting more like turning into like a goal-kicking midfielder instead of kind of a guy that sets up the goals. I don't know if you've noticed that change a little bit.
Zach Merritt had 3 behinds on the weekend.
Yep.
He left a big score out there. He left a very big score out there. Either of you,
69% efficiency as well. It's not great.
are you thinking of the?
Typical for Zach Merritt.
No,
he did have the highest positions on ground for his team.
Yeah. I have been thinking about the Hawks as Will Day. I like him a lot. He's done some great things. I've been talking about him for the last couple of weeks, actually. Someone that has looked really good playing in the midfield. He's exactly what the Hawks have needed. Let me just go to the CBAs. Go to Hawthorn.
Yep.
And he is a major reason why the Hawks are in a great vein of form at the moment, Will Day. He's a very good player ever since he's come back in. And unfortunately, I don't want to be too stacked in that buy round now that I'm getting more in my forward line, but I only have one spot left. And realistically, is Will Day going to be a top 8 to 10 midfielder? I don't think he will. I think he'll average 105 for the rest of the season, basically 105 to maybe 110. So I don't necessarily think that that's going to be top 8 to 10. That would probably have him at maybe M15 to M20 mark. So that could be good enough if your other lines are doing really well. But yeah, he's also got his bye coming up. I do like what he's doing though.
Look, there's a reason why we all had Will Day in our team like 2 years ago. Like he's a good player. He can score well. We know what he can do through that team. So yeah, he's a very good player. It's just that bye round.
Yeah. Currently going Reed, Wilson, and Klahisi to Dawson. More and a sub 600k player. As a Hawks fan, I must have at least one Hawks player in my team. Well, you're going to get more. So by having Ethan Phillips at D8, it feels like cheating. Fair enough.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that he didn't get to play his third game.
Yeah. Massimo D'Ambrosio, as Bryce says, could be a very good, great one for those who held. Well done.
And even Zach Williams, people who had him like recently.
Yeah, correct. So Tuknos, yeah, mate, he played against the Bombers. In fact, they rewarded him to do it. The fix came in. Here's why too many guys taking points at the Swans.
Yep,
fair enough. Oh no, 3K off. That's very sad. I cry for you. Jonas, Big J, which primos are at risk of being sent off early for surgery, etc., after their team is out of contention for the finals?
Well, you just look at like all the players who play like in the probably bottom 6 teams. All your North Melbourne guys, all the guys from the other sides, they're just the ones really. It's going to suck, but you just know what's going to happen.
Aussie abroad, if getting McGovern costs me 3 trades or more costs me 2 trades, would you still do McGovern considering he has North this week?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I would do McGovern. Out of those 2 right now, I would probably do McGovern is going to score 100 plus this week. Unless he gets injured or does or something happens, McGovern is going to score big. And he's going to score big for 2 weeks in a row. Like North kicking's not great and McGovern's good. It's just the bye round. Like that's all it is really. And I think in our backlines we have it's round 15, I'm pretty sure. So all you have is Nick Dacos. Like if you can survive 2 in the backline, you're okay.
McGovern's round 14.
Oh, round 14. Okay, cool. So then it's a little bit different. But McGovern does play North twice, so
Moore has got the Giants this week, and then he's got Richmond and West Coast.
So let him have a tough week this week and grab more next week.
Yeah, but he will also be a bit more expensive next week.
Yeah, potentially. For my sake, I hope he's got more than like 45.
What is McGovern's break even? What are we looking at for McGovern? McGovern.
McChicken.
Jeremy McGovern, 97 break even.
I reckon he'll beat it.
Yeah, he'll beat it. But if he gets like 100, it's not like he's going to move up that much. But if you're looking at more, come on. Can you guys get off Supercoach for a second? I'm trying to look up the 47. So he'll go up on money as well. If you get more this week, he's going to go on his buy next week.
Yeah. No, round 15.
No, McGovern's around 14, and Moore is around 15. So you're going to, I don't know. Up to you. I prefer Moore before him, but, only time will tell. When will Rankin come back?
Our post-buy, probably round 15 or 16, I think. And I haven't heard anything about his updates either, so maybe he's progressing well. But, just have to be careful with these type of players. I can see a world where Rankin is not rested, but, relaxed into it. Adelaide are pushing, and they don't want to make the injury worse, especially when Rankin's had these type of injuries before. So, it's not like it's a fresh injury, things like that, a new type player. Similar to McKercher. I don't think North Melbourne have no pressure to play this player early. No pressure to push him back into the team. Maybe with Crouch out, they start saying, hey, Rankin, get on. But if they do that and he gets injured again, they're cooked. So they're going to take their time.
Potentially.
It'll be 3 weeks and then 2 weeks of VFL, probably, and then he comes back. Or 1 week at least of VFL, and then he comes back. So, just lucky they have the bye.
Ridley's a gun. Ridley's a wonderful player.
Yeah,
and Ridley will score well. Him bringing Mackay across has been an absolute godsend for Ridley.
Is he 100% kick-ins, or what's his kick-ins ratio?
No,
the only reason why I'm not picking Ridley is because of the bye round. That's legitimately the only reason why. That bye sucks. It sucks. That's it's not great.
Ridley had 2 kick-ins this week, had 3 kick-ins last week. We like to share the
intercepts then.
He's a beautiful intercept mark, and all of his intercept marks are always
18 kicks, 9 marks.
Yeah, so Ridley's a wonderful reader of the ball, and he doesn't muck around with the football in his hand. He's a very clean user of the footy, 86, 87, 97, 94. He's just immaculate. He's the great wall of Ridley. He's our second most important player after Zach Merritt, and you can see he's too good. So I love him. I'd love to have him in my team. If it wasn't for his buy, he'd be in my team for sure. Love the show, lads. Thanks, Theo. Dunk's a better chance to score more than LDU, in my opinion. Potentially. Hope you're well. Yeah, doing well, bro. Hope you are as well. You selling me? I'm not a salesman, all right? I'm just here to give information. Brad, g'day, mate. How's it going, Brad? Head on over, subscribe to Supercoach Pro, please. G'day, lads. Listening to this at work. Thoughts on Green this week for M8? Personally, I like it. There's too much value there. He's not going to play. A good player doesn't become shit overnight. He's getting his hands on the ball. It's just been hacked. It's just been, clangers. And we've seen when a player cleans up their disposal, they turn things around. And disposal efficiency is something that is really important. And I can see it becoming I can see him improving. He can't get any worse with his disposal, which means that at his price point, there is certain upside. He's already had his buy. Well rested. I think came at a good time. I like him. I like Tom Green this week, if you haven't got him.
Look, Tom Green is an okay player, but I think there's just something's up with him in the team. It's not necessarily just a form thing. Yes, the form hasn't been great, but it's not necessarily just a form thing. I think they're running the ball too quick for it. If they played on a ground where it was highly contested and they didn't move the ball quickly, Tom Green would be fantastic. But it's just not what it looks like. They're just running the ball. You watch him. The ball goes this way. He doesn't. He's not quick enough. He's not used as the link-up player. He's used stoppage. That's it. So, yeah. And it shows from his kick-to-handball ratio.
We're getting into winter. We're getting into the wet weather.
All right.
We're gonna see slower ball movement. We're gonna see slippery. We're gonna see repeat
not
stop.
top of the list of my round 12 buy players to get into your team. That's all.
Mate, he's cheap though. He's the cheapest one you can get in. Dazabra, Sherry could be a good VC pick this week.
I think Cherry's been fantastic all season. Like,
he has.
If you brought him in, you'd be very, very happy.
Yep. Jonas Rankin is the biggest injury risk going around. Has pulled his big string multiple times in his career, including last season and this. That's how desperate times are.
Which is why I think they're going to go slow on him. Which is why I don't plan to have him in your Supercoach team. Like, they're going to take their time. They want to make finals. They want to play well. They're not going to go and rush this player back into their team. And then for him to get injured like 2 weeks later. He will play multiple VFL runs if when he comes back.
Exactly. Moore or Fisher this week? Oh, Fish. For sure, Harry. Get Fish.
Yeah.
As I said.
What's Fish's break even? Let me check.
The lawyer fucked me.
56 break even.
Good pickup, Velo. Good pickup. North play the Eagles twice and the Tigers. And guess which midfielder could feast on that? One, Luke.
Harry Sheasel.
Harry Zumiak. Yeah, nah. LDU.
Harry the big Sheasel, mate. He plays mid apparently these days. So there you go.
LDU, my boy. Get around him. I'm going to get Ridley right after his bye. I'm talking like 9:02 p.m.
Yeah.
I hear you. G'day, fellas. Who is your prediction for top 2 scorers this week? I'm going to say Gawn and Dacos. Gawn and Dacos are my 2 highest.
Who's playing? Let me quickly check.
It's got to be Gawn and Dacos. And they're playing the same game.
Oh, because he's playing Melbourne? So he's playing...
He's playing Collingwood. You only have Darcy Camry.
Okay,
bro,
and Dacos. Let me see if they are.
English.
They can't be 2 from the same team.
English scored 130 for once, and it was against Collingwood. What is Max Gawn going to do, especially off the back of last week? Dacos is Dacos, playing at the MCG. They're my 2 highest scorers for the week. Very easy peasy.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take it. I think Bont does well at Marvel Stadium.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think these are the top 2, though. Thoughts on McNeil? Look,
the Dogs.
From the Dogs. He's good. He looks really good. He looks really good. And the goal that he kicked in that last quarter was huge. Him having the composure, not to blaze away, not to handball it off, took it himself and kicked the goal, I thought was really good. He played his role quite well. And we know that Bevo likes to reward these mature age players who play their role and play it well. He rewards them and he keeps them in the team. The only question becomes whether or not because Ed Richards is going to come back, I think this week. Who else has to come back this week? Libba could be back. Anthony Scott. Waitman's still out. You know what? I reckon McNeil holds his spot. The only question becomes, though, is he a buy? Is he a buy? Is he a sub? Because you also have him fighting with Riley Sanders. Who's going to be the sub? Is it Sanders or is it going to be McNeil? Someone has to be the sub. And that's my biggest concern, I think, for McNeil.
Yeah, he's someone that I definitely flagged as being like an option in the preseason and someone to look out for. But I just don't know in this Dogs team, like if he's really going to be a viable player or not. He's been the sub. Yes, he scored well. Maybe he plays, but I think a lot of those Dogs players were big due to circumstance. And I think Nick Neal was very, very lucky there.
Let's check out my team. Lorcan Dogs. All right, let's have a look. Lorcan Dogs. No teams. Maybe it's supposed to be a capital I. That looks like an L. No. Is there supposed to be a space? No. Sorry, Sports Clips. You're a North fan, Big J. You're supposed to like your players, mate.
Look, I do like North Melbourne's players. I think I'm just realistic. And that's you kind of have to be with North Melbourne. Like, cool, we're not that good. Cool, the players not scoring that well. Like, I'm not like a delusional Carlton fan is probably a big thing.
Rowan the Boat FC is looking at only one trade this week.
Ooh.
And that's Rogers to a Dawson or an MSD selection, 79K in the bank.
Yep. Look, I don't mind it.
What is this backline?
It's just, it's just a bit rough.
McKirk has got to come back.
Are you sure this is not like a... No. I feel like it's done that thing where it like shows you the team from round 1, maybe?
Yeah. Rowan the Boat FC. Oh, wait. There's 2 Rowan the Boat FCs by Jono.
Jono, you have been sneaky and you made 2 teams. I know you're on to you, Jono.
Jono, naughty. All right. Not that Jono. Fair enough. Dacos, Ryan, Houston, McGovern. Okay, very nice. Shazel goes here. Bont, Butters, Sarong, Walsh, Steele, Oliver. All right, Tom Green. So you just need a mid still.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall. Oh, man. Marshall's got to be a VC this week against Moyle. Heaney, Zorko, Flanders, Jackson, Moore. All right, so essentially you just need a ruck, a forward, and a mid.
Yep. Not bad.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
I'd be looking at probably offloading a Sullivan and McAuliffe, like come there by, and then making some team upgrades that way. You got enough cash in, which is probably the big thing for the side. So you could go Sexton to like any ruck in 2 weeks. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe not a max score, depending on how well he scores this week, but yeah.
Bryce, the Bloods.
Got any other questions? Oh, we got a lot of check out my teams.
The Bloods.
Moyle going 100 against Romo this week, Joe.
Really?
Apparently.
That's how shit That's how shit Marshall is. Marshmallow.
Hey, Brad, you're on the show once with Shorty, and now you're making Shorty calls, mate. I just don't understand.
No, Rowan Marshall's that shit. No, I agree. Wholeheartedly. Rowan Marshall is a fraud potato who doesn't know the difference between his head and his butt. Moyle is going to go 100.
Fraud potato.
All right.
I think we've covered Warner or Neil a little bit today. I would probably pick Neil. Joe likes Warner just for the age regression from Neil, but I think it'll be all right. Correct. Who's the 102Ks that are most likely to play? Well, I think Blight potentially plays this week. I know they're side from Essendon. North Melbourne North Melbourne Payne probably plays at some point. Just unlucky that he didn't have a run in the VFL last week to show how good he was. No one's been named yet, and that's probably the big thing too. Is this week's team sheets are going to be tough, and the team sheets. I don't think something that we've talked about too much, Joe, is this week. Team sheets, a lot of it comes out on Thursday, but because there's a Monday game, you're not going to know who's in a team until super late in the week. So there could be some massive changes and people could really get caught out.
Correct. All right. So Dacos, Ryan, Houston, Mass, Cleese, Graham. Okay, Shazel comes here.
Jacob Blight, not Jack. Jacob Blight.
Yeah. Blight's great. He's not a Blight. I wonder if he's related to Malcolm
intercepts. I think he scored 134 in Supercoach on the weekend in the VFL. So
is he related to Malcolm Blight at all?
Probably. North Melbourne should have taken him. But
LDU and Green. All right. So finished midfield, finished truck. Just need one defender. Oh no, Matt's is not a keeper though. So
yeah.
So you still need 2 defenders. Finished mids, finished ruck. All right, yeah, still need quite a bit here. So you still need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You still need 6 premiums.
A lot
with this team. Yeah.
A lot of premiums.
So Darcy goes out.
2 back
and Klahisi goes out. But for who?
Look, the beautiful thing is you've got enough 300k players to make things happen.
For sure.
You can do a triple trade this week and next week and potentially bring in 4 primos. Like, you've got a lot of 300k players. Like, Darcy needs to go. Comben, potentially, you can start to look to offload him if you've got enough money. And maybe like a Will Graham. And there you go, two primos.
46
like, we're upgrading to primos, Joe. Dane Zorko says, get in my team. Darcy Moore probably says, get in my team as well.
Dylan Moore.
All right, you know what I mean. Dylan Moore. Sorry, fellas. Dylan Moore, get in my team. You could do that trade this week, and then you'd have 4 primos left to get instead of 6. And you'd be pretty happy. So maybe that's the way to go with this kind of team. Like, I think you scored 1,800 this week, looking at the score, close to 1,900. And that's why, because you're just down on primos. So start to offload these players, get rid of the round 14 and round 15 guys, and bring in guys who have their buy or not have their buy. I think Moore is a little bit of an exception just because there's not as many round 15. And he's a forward keeper, so you've got to bring him in. But yeah, triple trade, get rid of players. 300k players, getting 2 primos. You're happy.
I'd love to play some sort of game here, guys, with the chat. Like every time, like not have a shot, but something equivalent. Have a shot every time Big J says Darcy Moore instead of Dylan Moore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd love what we could do. It's not. We're not going to advocate alcoholism here on the center bounce, but
probably not.
I'd love us to have some sort of game. I'd love suggestions from you. What we can do every time Big J missays a name, especially Dylan Moore keeps Darcy Moore. Yeah. What can we do?
At least it's D Moore. Like, it's hard to get. You've got 2 players called D Moore. I'm surprised they're not related. Maybe they are. But
mate, more. Some more D, please. Had Goulden since the start, says Adam, and he's just been passable.
Yeah,
had bigger issues that. For
and
sure.
That's how I feel about Tom Green as well. Like, he's an okay player. He's had bigger wins and bigger losses, but yeah, it's there's worse things on field, and that's where it's like, don't go and trade these players
early. Okay. The baggy Joels. Wait, is there? There's probably no space. There's probably spaces here. The baggy Joels. Joel, here we are. A Cats fan, I think, the looks of things. 1912 this week. Really? I see you says 1907.
I'm trying to catch up.
Trying to oversell himself.
If I miss anyone's comments, I'm sorry. That's what I'm up to. I think we got John Caron this week. Joe can go through that if you want. Time to trade out Tom Stewart, Joe. Potential James Jordan, Sincotta, and Guelphy tags, Joe? And Guelphy tag coming up. It sucks.
Yeah,
People brought him in at 500k, and I'm just like, mate, you got to wait at least until the buy, and we've seen that. Footy Info app had him as being injured or getting some form of injury throughout the game. Fan Footy has nothing on the injury, so maybe it was just a poor game, but yeah, Tom Stewart's just regressed, man. Like, you look at the guys who scored well. Max Holmes, Jack Bowes. Like, yes, he plays a bit of midfield, but all these midfielders, like Max Holmes and stuff, they're taking a lot of what would have been Tom Stewart's ball like 2 years ago. He's just not getting that off the back, and if he's not getting intercepts, like, that's all he's being used for now. So, yeah. Maybe post-buy, like, get rid of him on his buy.
Tom Stewart.
Rodney, Joe. Rodney's tipped 7 this week, and he's 36 in the national comp. Get around you, Rodney.
Unbelievable. Take it all the way. All the way, Rodders. We believe in you. All right, so what we're going to do with the baggy Joels, Dacos, Ryan, Martin, Fisher, Stewart, she's all finished back line, Bontsarong, Merritt, Miller, Walsh, Oliver, Green. Heaney should be in the forward line, but so you still need a mid.
You need at least one more mid.
Still got Sweet. Interesting. Flanders, Reed, Wilson, Sexton, Fraser, Garcia. All right, yeah. So Heaney comes on here. So you still need to trade out Reed, Wilson, Sexton, Fraser. You still need 4 forwards and a mid.
Yeah. for me, it really depends on if you're going to keep Harley Reid long term or not. If you're going to keep Harley Reid long term, it makes things easy for you. If not, it's time to let him go, especially if he's got 2 weeks off, because he'll have 2 weeks off and then a bye round in between there as well. So effectively, it's 3 weeks. I would probably downgrade a Sweet, flip Livingston to the forward line, potentially grab a Dawson. There goes like 180K, and then upgrade Wilson and Reid to two primos in the forward line.
Oh, you're right.
And
Fisher as well is a forward. Yeah. So he's still another defender.
You can keep Fisher in the back line if you want to, but there's better players there. So you could effectively finish your forward line finish the forward line, or have one primo left in the forward line this week.
One left.
Yeah. So I would be looking to do that. And then you've got one mid to go, one backline player, one forward line player. So it's a lot of better position than you are. I made the mistake last week of not offloading these type of players. I kept Darcy, I kept Wilson, I kept a Clohesi, and instead of scoring their big scores, they scored their crappy scores. And that's going to happen more often than not. Get rid of them while they're still expensive. That's basically it for me.
Fair enough.
Now, if Reid, you're going to keep Reid, then you're going to be a bit struggling in other positions. You can make some changes, but it's not as straightforward then. If you're going to keep Reid, maybe offload a Sharp instead. You won't be able to get a better player, though. Maybe a defender instead of a Zorko. But Zorko's kind of, you need to have Zorko.
Yeah, for sure. G Money, I should know this, but if Garcia for Sands plays on my bench with the emergency on him and I put a buy player on field, yes, you do. Yep. You do get him.
Yep. And you can captain the buy player, and then you can move the captaincy on to anyone else who haven't played for the entire week. So it's not like the buy player gets locked either. Melbourne crap. Have you got the name, Soupy? We'll run through a few more questions. We are getting banked up a little bit with questions, so I'm just trying to bust through a few of these.
Yeah, thanks.
Melbourne crapped the bed, mate. Melbourne crapped the bed hard. I'm surprised you tipped Hawthorn and the other players to win, though, as well. Yeah, I totally agree, Brad. Don't love any of the rookies, and this week's buy plays aren't great. Even Will Dawson from North Melbourne. I think it was like a lot of the top 1% brought him in this week, or last week, really, as a downgrade option. And yeah, might not even play that much. So I like the player, though. He does a lot. He had a few goals kicked on him in the first couple of games, but it's his 1%ers and his tackles and things like that that have made him be able to score what he scores. So yeah.
This team looks good by Soupy. Well done, Aussie Abroad. You just need to get in 2 defenders. Now, you could do that potentially. You could trade out. So I think Wilson's got to go, and Clohesi can go. So Finn Fisher comes on here, so that's not too bad. Wilson, you can get in. You've already got Dawson. But you could swing Dawson forward and get like a Blight, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think with 325 Clohesi and 404 Wilson, you can absolutely get a premium defender. No one's coming off the buy is the problem, though. So the only ones you could possibly be looking at, again, you got a full midfield as well. So you can't look at Goulden, you can't look at Dunkley, you can't look at Neil, you can't. You've already got Heaney. You know what I mean? Like, is the problem is that where your lines are full in your midfield, you can't get anybody from that buy. The only one you can, I mean, you've even got Fisher as well. You know what I mean? Like, you've got everyone who's coming off the buy.
Yeah, Darcy Moore. Sorry, Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore's probably the one.
He did it again.
Dylan Moore's the one. Dylan Moore's the one. There are some good defenders coming off the buy, though. That's probably the big thing to watch out for. Yeah, maybe not this week, but next week. Well, you got Houston next week.
Yes,
there's
next
a few
week.
other players there, and one of the big things that I think a lot of content creators and a lot of people in general aren't talking up is like Clark and Young as backline options. So if you can just generate some cash this week, like a team like this is perfect to be like, cool, 200K Clohesi turn into like Clark or Young or someone, because those guys are just on fire at the moment. I think Clark kicked his first ever AFL goal for Freo on the weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. See you, Cheese. Thanks very much for coming in, man. Travis, my team is Money Inc. I'm trading Mac Andrew, Crouch, and Reed to Aaliyah, Goulden, and Warner with 440k for next week with my forward line in a world of pain and shame.
Nice.
Not too shabby. Money Inc. Travis, here we go.
Who's R2 this year, Joe? Who's your pick for R2?
English.
Okay, fair enough. I do like Cherry as a potential option, though. Yeah. No way Ali gets dropped, 100% Velo. I just think that he might not score as much. What's your thoughts on Saligo, Joe?
He probably does get a boost in scoring, but is it enough to warrant the selection is the problem. And for that, I don't know if he's going to be, because Saligo and Rankin to come back, how were they sharing, Saligo and Rankin? They were coexisting. Saligo tended to get more than him on a fairly consistent basis, though. So Rankin back probably might not affect him too much. Has he been consistent, Saligo? What's his scoring been like?
I like Saligo as a player, but I don't know if he's going to be that viable for us in Supercoach this year. Wait till next year, though. Like, if Saligo's 400k.
Yeah, the difference between, look at this, 70% CBAs, 71.
Yeah.
6,803. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. There was a nice purple patch here, 128, 90, 97, 91. But again, if he's going 90s, that's not enough for you in your midfield, is the problem. You don't want 90s from a midfielder. You want 110s from your midfielder.
Yeah.
So
at a minimum.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't go there.
Yeah. Honestly, surprised no one is trading in Adam Treloar. Yeah, no, he's definitely one that's that's gone under the radar pretty hard. Yeah. That's what I can say.
Good luck, Captain Flash. With your exam revision, Matt's tomorrow. Good luck, mate. You got this. Hopefully this was a nice little break, and then you can go back and smash your studies, mate. Okay, best of luck.
Boys and girls.
Correct. School, very important. But yeah, with this team, I don't know. Do you have to trade out Mac Andrew? He just scored 99.
No,
that's
no, you don't.
Good ad.
Mac Andrew could really be like the super pod this year. People could have got him at like 300k, and I think he's had some decent enough scoring that it's been all right.
Yeah.
The team is not terrible. Let me see.
Oh,
it's probably the forward line, really.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is.
Vicentini.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm sorry. Why did you bring in Vicentini?
Heaney comes forward. So Heaney can come forward. You can trade out Reed.
You were saying he's got a lot of money for next week, so
yeah. You can trade out Reed. You can trade out Berry. Get Zorko in. Potentially get more in as well. If you trade out Clahisi as well.
Yep.
See if you can double upgrade. Get both Zorko and more in. Do you have Fisher? You don't have Fisher. All right, get Fisher in. Fisher coming off his bye. He's
not
cheap.
Yeah. Cheap enough. It's not super cheap, but he's cheap.
No, he's cheap enough. Thoughts on Harry Edwards? I think he's a good downgrade. Yeah, I did notice Harry Edwards.
Is he from Adelaide?
No, he's West Coast.
Okay. Because I know they're
pretty sure.
I think
Harry Edwards. I'm pretty sure he's West Coast, top of my head.
Yes. Yeah. Harry Edwards, West Coast. Yeah.
I don't know. Does he keep his spot in the team? West Coast. Oscar Allen, 2 weeks. Luke Edwards, Elijah Noah Long, Petrocelli. Yeah. Oh, Witherden. Did Witherden play on the weekend?
Yes.
He did? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought Witherden might just come back in straight for him if he hadn't. Witherden, yeah, he played. Yeah, maybe Edwards could be a good downgrade. I'm not a big West Coast Eagles fan. Ask West Coast Eagles Rule. He might be able to tell you.
Ask a West Coast Eagles fan.
Yeah, ask a West Coast Eagles fan. He'll probably know more about it. Soldo was cleared for the hits, which is excellent.
Let's bust through these last few comments.
Ed Richards or Sinclair to connect my with. Richards, I think, is very. I think Richards, Bevo loves him.
He just plays a really good role. He should play every game of the year and should have this role, and I don't think they'll change him. Richards will be the reason why they'll make finals or not make finals.
Yeah. I wonder how many people in this chat were born when Bombers won their last flag. So in 2000, 24 years ago. Is everyone? There are some people less than 24 years old in here, I would imagine.
Oh, of course. They've got a lot of young kids in this chat sometimes too.
Just keep Tom Green until around 21. Then if he's not playing, one up, one down till all day. Yep, fair enough. I like a tally. Not going to lie, tempted to grab Hines. Talk me out of it, Bombers fans.
Round 14 bye. That's big. That's
Brad, among inner circles of the Bombers, we have a saying. There's always next week. What does that mean? Nick Hine can go back to his spud self next week and undo all of his good work. He's very inconsistent. Greg Wilson, Rising Star McKercher versus Ollie Dempsey. Both huge start to the year. I think Darcy Wilson's also had a very strong start to the year. I think McKercher's missed too many games.
I think so too. It's really hurt him being injured. I think Wardlaw's safe. I think Dempsey and probably Wilson. But Dempsey's been doing some flashy stuff. Wardlaw, if North Melbourne were winning, Wardlaw would be getting a much better look. But, like Sheasel almost lost it.
He is if he's healthy, Cap and Flash. Best forward to get this week. Fisher, if you haven't got him. Or Zorko. Zorko's obviously more expensive. Or more. Can't wait to get my boy Rose. I can't wait.
I don't know when Hinkley's going to bring back into the team. Obviously, being the captain, there is some pressure there, but they've already had him like come back and then be injured again. I would not be surprised if it was like post by now, and then like 3 or 4 more weeks just to make sure that look, he's actually okay. Because this guy keeps getting injured and injured and injured.
Yeah, it's true. More 3 prior. 73 average. It's the role. The role, it's hard for him to have consistent scoring, but he also was coming back from a head knock as well. So I'm willing to forgive
before
him.
That he was scoring big too, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's not like it's come out of the blue. He also had some good scoring last year as well. Adelaide said Rankin could be back round 14 versus Sydney. Thanks for that, Velo. Ridley kills Martin score hard. They don't play the same role, Brad. I think Martin's just inefficient. I've gone Darcy and Klahisi, Tahini, and Leakalee. Very cool. Very nice. Carlton have the real Mackay versus Essendon Dunn's Ben McPade. Bro, they're literally twins. Literally, they're twins, Jonas. They're the same person, basically. Green might just score better. Yes, correct. Another upside. More upside for Green. I agree. Tally. Can only choose one. Ridley or McGovern. No issues with bye or injury history. Because last spot to fill in my defense and have trades set aside for injuries. Ridley or McGovern? I love Ridley, but I'm an Essendon supporter.
I like Ridley too.
He's also a lot cheaper.
I would pick Ridley. Just for the fun. You'd have like the biggest pot out of anyone. And you can just go Ridley every time he gets the ball. I like McGovern as well. He basically monopolizes the kicking, which is where a lot of his scoring.
Yeah, correct.
And he intercepts, which is a huge thing. Like one of the things, like a lot of people bag on West Coast for like paying McGovern so much money, but he's worth the amount of money. Like we're gonna see key defenders now get paid millions of dollars. Like no doubt Sam Taylor's on big money. Wiedering's just knocked back a massive deal. Ben Mackay, who did a nice kick to one of the Gold Coast players. I saw that on Twitter. Scored, like he's on big money as well. It's just going to be what's going to happen. So,
yeah. Guys, we've gone over 2 hours, so we're going to try wrapping it up ASAP. We won't be looking at teams anymore, unfortunately. We've just been going through them as they come. They cost order VC selection every game. Yeah, basically.
Same with Bont, but Bont's fairly close as well.
Dawson going 150 plus and Henny 140 plus is my VCC this week.
I don't think Dawson will play. I think they'll wait, but we'll see.
Does VCE really even matter this week? What score would you need in order to...
Well, I mean, people said the same thing last week, and Dacos went 156 and Bont went 186. So, I mean, you can pick someone as VC and then just say, hey, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, exactly. Dimmer said Witt's most likely back this week. Yep. Oh, okay. Interesting. Marshall going to go 200 now. Marshall going to go 200 now, Joe, just to tick you off. He can get in the bin, Rowan Marshall Mallow. Such a fraud. Such a fraud. Of course, he's going to go up against freaking Ned Moyle this week. He can't beat an actual ruckman. He has to feast on a crap opposition. Is it just me, or is Darcy Moore sounding better and better as a pick? I love it. I love it, G Money. Marshall will go 389. You're a funny one, Simati. You're a funny one. Get Zorko this week, or should wait to drop in price?
I like Zorko. I think post-buy players are fantastic. And his score last week, where he basically was -20 for half the game, and he still popped out like an 80, kind of shows his level of scoring. I think as Brisbane get better, and as Brisbane are going to push for finals post-buy, like, you're going to see more scoring out of him. Fagan knows what it takes, and him taking all the kickouts and using as the run-through is what they need. There won't be any more, like, backline. Sorry, there won't be any more forward line.
Top 8 mids post-buy from round 16 onwards. Oh. That's a video.
Yeah.
That's a video in and of itself. Yeah, Bont is up there. I don't know if Merritt's still there. Sarong, Butters.
Sarong is definitely there. Probably not a Sam Walsh or a Tuke Miller. Probably Matt Rowell.
Sam Walsh is, I think. The run opens
He's
up.
only been scoring because Jerry's not in the team.
Yeah, now Sam Walsh is there up there. Matty Rao, when they play more games.
Dunkley, 100% is in there.
Dunkley.
There's probably one or two more that we're missing.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's $5 swear jar. The Darcy Moore jar, just like my $5. It is what it is. See, it is what it is. We do it, and we know what we're doing. Like, we know we're saying it. The funny thing is with the Darcy Moore.
It makes sense. Like, we say it for context and for a reason, right?
Yeah, but the Darcy Moore one is just purely you keep forgetting his name and you keep calling him Darcy Moore. That's what makes it funny. I've got 6 primos out this week. Yeah, I had a few last week, Brad. Yeah, it's a bit late. We're finishing off. We were stiff.
Sorry.
We missed out. We kicked ourselves out of it. It was stupid by us.
Missed opportunities. That's it.
Bazalinka, 1,700. Yeah, no, that's a shocker. Unfortunately, too late. We're not really looking at teams anymore, unfortunately. Max Holmes, a chance to be a decent pod. Bro's been a decent pod all year.
Yep. You've got to have the ups and downs and things like that, but Max Holmes has been very, very good for sub 500K at the start of the season. He hasn't jumped that much in catch, which obviously shows his level of scoring, but the guy's been averaging 100 numbers and things like that. So it's not terrible. I think his defensive status as well. So
yes, he is.
As a defender, super pod.
Yeah, sure. Rotham will come back in only at Williams. Okay, so Rotham will take Edwards' spot. Thank you, West Coast Eagles rule. Jay, thoughts on going Sweet / Klahisi, Wilson and Reed for Dawson, Zorko, and Moore / Neil.
Sure, no worries. And this is the trade.
If Dawson plays, yeah. If Dawson plays, then yes. Yeah. Do you get Moore or Neil?
Neil, purely for the fact that he's already had his buy. But if you're going to get Neil, I would get Dunkley instead, who's cheaper.
Yeah. Going to grab Bolton and Mackay F5, F6, so cheap after their buys, and May D7 to loop with Stewart.
Well, it might even be for me. I think I'm going to have enough trades to be able to grab one of these guys as just like primo on the bench, which is what we need to start looking for. People are going to get Tom Green as like M9, Joe. It's going to be hilarious.
Unbelievable. Johnny Baker, good on you, fellas. Thanks. Anytime. PS, bringing in Darcy Neal and Darcy Dawson this week. What?
I love it.
I love it. I love it. That is so good. That is the best. Shorty, you're a legend, mate. Fisher or Moore? Fisher for me.
Yeah, purely for the fact that he doesn't have a buy anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And break even's about the same.
Yeah, I've loved Ernie Holmesy. Yeah, unbelievable. Going to have 20 plus players on the field this week.
Nice.
I'm a buy structure. Oh,
good. And that's what we want. We've said it before, but make sure you guys have 18 players plus playing. Around 20 is a good number. I think I'm pretty much there with all my Collingwood rookies. Hopefully they keep playing. But yeah, that's going to be the real difference. In today's chat, the biggest takeaway is that some people are scoring 1700s in the buys. And that's not what you want. These are the things that are going to make you drop out. And I think something like 50% of the top 1K or something this year had under 2,000 score. So if you can start making up points on those things, you are going to jump up. That's probably the big takeaway.
Cheers again, lads. Anytime West Coast Eagles roll, anytime. We've just got to the end now. You were the last comment there. So thank you guys so much for watching for yet again another very fun, exciting, long Monday night live stream. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, hit the like, subscribe if you're new. Would be great for the growth of our channel, the algorithm, all that wonderful jazz. And look forward to speaking to you guys on Thursday.
Guys, I've got my team review. We're going to have our captaincy. We're going to have our buy round talk. We're going to have our break-evens talks throughout the week. Maybe we might even have a players you've got to bring in this week during the buy rounds video as well. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And our live stream on Thursday at 5:30.
Exactly. What is this? Dump the pretenders at a top 4. Like, mate, we've beaten who we've beaten. Like, we haven't. Yeah. It's just, it is what it is.
Who you're going to play. Like
exactly. So, yeah, thanks so much, guys, for watching. Good night to you, Craze Fit, as well. Was that supposed to be a kissing face?
Hopefully you did better in tips than me this week.
Yeah, 100%.
3 is not fun.
Yes, I can imagine. And on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of the week. And we'll see you on Thursday for the drive home.
Bye-bye.